In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we can hunt for the certificate transparency log, and we will understand how we can find out information about any domain. Now, don't worry if you don't understand what SSL certificate is. I have actually already explained what SSL certificate is and how does it work in the previous two videos. If you have not watched that, if you don't understand, you can check those out so you will understand that. The thing is, companies expose their entire infrastructure through SSL certificate. SSL certificate basically show all of their subdomains and complete show expose their infrastructure. So I'm gonna show you exactly the tools and the different methods to find out the company's hidden services and their entire infrastructure. We will use a real domain, okay, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we can find out from that. This is the part 3 of a 3-part series about the SSL and SSL transparency log. If you want to understand the basic, you will have to watch about the. If you want to understand the what SSL certificate is, you have to check out the first video. And if you want to understand how does it work, what kind of information is in the SSL certificate, you have to check out the second part. But if you are ready to see to understand how we can practically find out this information, so without any further delay, let's get started. Yeah, so let's talk about how we can query the certificate transparency log. So there are different methods. One is the direct website, which is the Crt.sh. This is the easiest one. Another method we have is, don't worry, I'm gonna explain this. We'll be using this, the first method. Another method we have is actually, let's see, it's a command line approach. It's the same thing, it will give us the same result, but it is based on the CMD CLI page. So the method 2 is basically based on the CLI based command line approach. In this method, we use the curl tool along with the crt.sh to get the information, the certificate related information. And in the method 3, which is automated one, it's we have different tool. One is the asset finder, another is mass, and third one is sub finder. So these are that. Let's talk about the first method. We're gonna use that one. Okay, now let's go over here. All we need to do is, this is the website, and I'm gonna click on this and we will land on this website. Sometime it works for me, sometime it does not, I don't know. I think it's server side issue, but I hope this work this time for us. Okay, so that I can show you exactly how this work. Okay, so this is the interface of this crt.sh website, and what we're gonna do is we can search using the domain name or the organization name or the certificate fingerprint. This fingerprint, it comes with the certificate. If I click on this over here, then here, then here, and you can see right here, this is the certificate fingerprint, right? So it is basically that. Now this is the second thing. Another thing, it asks for the srt.sh id. I don't know where this is, but uh, I will use either the domain name or this fingerprint. So right here I have already queried one of the domain and I got the result. This is it, but it's like not very easy to understand. So what I'm gonna do is, let me just copy the certificate fingerprint which is right here of that domain. If this did not work, I will then have to enter the domain which is right here, this one. So hopefully this will work. Let's paste this and click on this. Let's wait for it and see what we're gonna get, if the website will give us error, server side error or no. I think it is not working, so I should let me connect the VPN and then let's see if it will work then or no. So it is connected, and let me refresh this guy. See this, I get most of the time this error. Let me change the location to something else and then let's see. Canada, and let's select some free location. Miami Vice. Disconnected. Yeah. Now let's paste this and wait for the result, like what if we can get the result or no. While this load, I'm gonna open another, or just it open already. I was trying to use this domain name as well. So we just entered the certificate fingerprint, and we got this. We could also use this the domain name, right? So this is it now, and what we're gonna study over here, there's a lot of information. What's really important here is the main thing, this is the serial number I told you earlier. If you remember, the company that issued this SSL certificate, they just gives some serial number to this specific certificate, and it is issued by this specific company, whatever that company is, right? We don't care about this part. And this is the validity, I hope I pronounce it correct. um, so it was registered created on this specific date, and it will get expired on this specific date, right? This month, this is the date, this is the time, and this is the year. And this right here, the subject, if you remember, we talk about the subject contains the actually it's the actual real website. If Yeah, the primary domain, we talk about this in the second video, in the previous video basically. So this is the website this SSL certificate is mainly issued for, and this is the public key which helps in encryption, decryption stuff. And if we scroll down and look for the subject alternative name SANs, these are the subdomains of that website. The SSL certificate, the specific certificate, provide protection, encryption to the specific subdomain along with this primary one. So from that, now we can see, look, this is one subdomain, this is another subdomain, and these are not fake, these are actually real. If I don't know, this just look very weird, but it is actually a subdomain of this domain, right? So let me go like this and see. Now we will actually see a website. Now I don't know why they made, for what purpose, we don't know, we don't care, but it is there, and they are not made it yet. They just have the default stuff, the default text and images. Let's wait for this. I think it's because of the VPN. Let me disconnect this and let's refresh. So while it load, let me tell you the other one. So we have also this one, this one, this one. See, this is the default website. They have not added anything to it, neither images. So basically we find out, yeah, this domain exists. Another one we can also say is the cPanel, which is the admin panel actually, where you can manage the website from. This is the cPanel, and I'm gonna explain why and how, why this matter and how we can use this, right? This was the cPanel, this is the mail subdomain, whatever that is, and this is the web desk. Let's see what this is. Okay, we are not able to go to that website. Let's try this one, like this, and this is another login page, I guess, another admin portal. I don't know what is wrong with this website, but it is what it is. We just don't know, but we see all of the subdomains, right? So from that, let's go over here and see what we can understand from this. And I have not told you other stuff. These are some other detail that is not really important. What actually important for us is this part, right? This part mainly. So now let's go over here to this guy here, and this is the explanation of this certificate actually. So the certificate is mainly issued for this specific domain, and who issued the certificate, this guy right here, these company, whoever these is, we don't care, right? And the certificate is, if the current the certificate SSL certificate is currently valid or no. So yeah, it is valid currently. And this is the encryption related stuff. Okay, and the important section, yeah, this is what we just talked about. They just list all of the subdomains. And what this tell us, this is why I was telling you. So we can see that it is using cPanel, as the admin portal. So we can, from that we saw that it is using cPanel. What we can do is we can go to the Google or the Explorer database and search for any vulnerability, any previous vulnerability for the cPanel, and if we find out some for the one they are using, in the next video we will see what version they are using. So we will look for that. Like for example, right now if I just copy this cPanel and go like this and vulnerability, okay. So you can see right here critical cPanel vulnerability including this, meaning vulnerability exists for the cPanel. We can use this to exploit that and get access to their internal system, right? Another thing is the other websites, like I think the WHM is also another admin kind of portal, same like the cPanel. So we can also try the look for the vulnerability for this one as well. So these are the details. Hope you understood. The other thing I think are not really important to us, but what the main thing is this part, right? Now let's go out here and see overall what all this mean. So let's say okay, this is the overall flow. Okay, so initially in phase one we use the certificate transparency. We discover all of the subdomains, right? This is using the CLI method, command line interface, and it is querying the Crt.sh domain, and this is the example.com. This is, they are targeting this domain in this example, and they will get output, and it will be stored in the subdomains.txt, meaning all of the subdomain at least it will be stored in this right now I don't have the Linux. I would have tried this, but I'm gonna explain our give you overview, okay, how we can use this to plan the attack. So now let's say we got all of these subdomain in this specific file using the CLI method, command line method of the Crtsh. And step two, what we do is this is just used to count the subdomains, like how many subdomains we got, and then we just store it in this one. So assuming we got all of these subdomains, now we understand, we just find out, figure out these are the 28 subdomains that the company has, taking the example. Okay, so that is that. Now in part two, what we're gonna do, I mean in phase two, what we will do is get the IP address for each subdomain. So in the previous video, I guess, so in the previous, some of the previous video about the DNS, I have recently made, we learn about how we can do the DNS enumeration. So using that method, using DNS enumeration, we will get the IP addresses for each subdomain, right? Using the either the NS lookup tool or the dig tool. This will give us the IP4 address of the server of the each subdomain, right? So for that we are basically using some code for automation. So this is the bash language for subdomain. In the cat, it will list the subdomain, and what it will do is it will use the dig tool, like it will list print one by each subdomain one by one, and for that one, each of these subdomain, it will use the dig tool, and it will then use this some kind of command, whatever that is, but it will just give us the IP address, right? So it will do for all of this one by one until it is done, it is completed, it is finished, all of the subdomain, and all of this will be stored in the result will be stored in this another file resolved ips.txt. So the output will be like this, resolving IP address for this subdomain, it is this, and for another it will be this. So we will get the IP addresses, and from that what we will learn which services are publicly accessible and which services might be internal only, like it is not accessible, right? So from that we will be able to catch that. Now we have the IP addresses for each of the subdomain. What we can do next is we can use the nmap or this another showdown.com. I will be talking about this in the some of the next video, okay, in detail. And nmap will be covered in the active reconnaissance. So we can use the nmap or this another guy right here to test each of the ip we get for the subdomain. So it will be like this. For ip in cat resolve the ip addresses we got for subdomain, grab this guy right here and it will just kind of search and look for identify services for each of the ip. So for example, it is more if I give you the nmap example, you will understand. We look for services or using the ip address we got, and it will list if whatever port is open, whatever port is not open, what services they use. So based on that, from those ip we can get, yeah, these ports are open and these are its version. And if we get the specific version, what we can do is from that we learn actually what services are accessible, what technology are running, and potential vulnerability for each service. So we can, once we get the services and the ports that are open, we can then look for the potential vulnerability. We can research on google google and exploit database for those services that is that are accessible, right, and for the technology it is using. So we will go there and search for that. If we find something, assuming we find something, we can use that, we will then use that vulnerability to do the exploitation, and after that we will get the access. So this is how actually we can use the Crt.sh. This is simple, but if you look at the flow, combine multiple techniques, we can easily get the access. Not easily, but you will have to check everything if they are exploitable or not, right? So if you have any question in any of these, let me know. I will make it clear. And I think in the next video we're gonna learn about the google dogging, or more like it is also called google hacking. So I will see you in the next video. See you soon.